Are you tired of remasters yet? Well, Sony sure hopes not, because there is another one on the way. Horizon Zero Dawn, the 2017 game, is being remastered. It's been officially rated by the ESRB, which is about as concrete of a confirmation as you can possibly get. I imagine the full-on announcement will be coming at the upcoming State of Play, where we can all sit in anticipation and excitement as we see Horizon Zero Dawn remastered in all its 4K 60 frames per second glory that it was already available at with the PlayStation 5 upgrade patch. And I'm going to be completely honest with y'all. Of course, I acknowledge the lack of necessity for this game. This thing does not need to be remastered at all, but hear me out. I don't know if y'all remember, but last year, maybe that was even 2022, there were rumors that Horizon Zero Dawn was being full-blown remade. Like, you know, what they're doing with The Last of Us and what they're doing with Until Dawn. Just ultra unnecessary, from the ground up remakes of these games that absolutely do not in any way, shape, or form need remaking. So a part of me was kind of relieved today to hear it's just a remaster. And you might be thinking, well, why the hell would you want to remaster instead of a remake? A remake is, you know, at least you're getting something a little bit more substantial there. And that's kind of my point, is I don't want something more substantial. I don't want these developers taking away, you know, time and resources and spending money on creating remakes of games that don't need remaking. Like, if you want to go and grab you a, you know, a quick cash grab with a Horizon remaster or with a quick port job or whatever the case may be, I'm much more in favor of that than unnecessary remakes. But the one thing that does really bum me out is it does appear that Guerrilla is the team leading up the development on the Horizon remaster. And like, the same thing was true with Naughty Dog for the Uncharted collection, and I believe The Last of Us 1, the remake of The Last of Us 1 and The Last of Us 2 as well. I think that's a massive waste of your, like, premium premier team. I think that's a massive waste of your best talents, time, and resources. I'm sure they're spinning off, you know, a smaller part of that developmental team to go and work on these smaller projects and still have the core team working on a, you know, Horizon 3 or a Last of Us 3 or a new IP from Naughty Dog or whatever the case may be. But it's still, any way you slice it, there's going to be opportunity cost at the end of these decisions. So if you put a team of 30, 40 people on remastering these games, those are 30, 40 people that could have been working on, you know, that next new IP, that next new big blockbuster, that next new big, you know, sequel or whatever the case may be. So I'm hoping at the State of Play that we'll learn that, yeah, Guerrilla was just overseeing this project, but, you know, it was a smaller external team that Sony contracted to come in and really do the bulk of the work with Horizon, and that way Guerrilla's off working on the third game. But I do understand people's complaints with this across the board. It's like, it would be really nice to see a remastered collection of games or a remastered game that we actually, you know, could benefit from, like games that we can't currently access on our PlayStation 5, like pretty much the entirety of the PlayStation 3 library that we're forced to fucking stream. Like, it'd be great to get an Infamous remaster. It'd be great to get a Killzone remaster, a Resistance remaster, like these things that, you know, the player base feels like, you know, it'd be great to get the chance to play these games that are locked to a 3-generation-old system at this point. But once again, that job is not quite as easy as remastering Horizon Zero Dawn, which, like we talked about earlier, already has a 4K 60 version ready for you to go on the PlayStation 5. So if you're just boxing that up and shipping that out the door, that's actually the situation that I would prefer. As crazy as that might sound, that's the situation I would prefer, where it's like, hey, you know, we're just going to make sure we have this thing ready to go on store shelves. Here you go, the Horizon Zero Dawn PlayStation 5 version. And I would imagine a lot of this was lining up because they had that TV show in development at Netflix that somehow got canceled. And of course, I would imagine this game was in development with that same sort of idea with, you know, The Last of Us 1 and The Last of Us 2 now, where it's like, yeah, we're going to capitalize off the hype of the show, if there is any hype from the show, and we'll make sure that we have a product, the latest and greatest, ready to go, available on store shelves so that people can go out and purchase this as soon as they finish watching the television show. So then when the TV show gets canceled, I would imagine the game is already, the remaster is already close to finish. So it's like, do you just sit on the remaster and wait for a TV show that's going to take another probably 5 years before it ever sees the light of day? It's like, no, you probably just put out the remaster now, and then in 5 years, we'll probably see remaster part 2 of Horizon Zero Dawn. But optically, I think that's where Sony is kind of running into issues, where it's like the first party output is very, very minimal. This year you're talking about Concord, The Last of Us 2, again, and Until Dawn, again, and then, the huge hit with Astrobot. And then last year, you only released Spider-Man 2 and The Last of Us Part 1. Another remake of a game that doesn't need remaking. So I don't think this would really be an issue at all if we were just like loaded with first-party heavy hitters, like new first-party heavy hitters. And then you also had these games here and there, these remasters, remakes, to kind of supplement that a little bit. But whenever it feels like a good percentage of the games that we're getting from first party are remasters and remakes, you do kind of get the feeling of like, yo, what the fuck are y'all doing over there? So I actually just jotted down, and I did this on the fly, so you can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong here, but I just jotted down the games we've gotten so far this generation, the first party output from PlayStation. And I separated it between remasters and remakes and new games. So this generation so far, we've had Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy, the remaster bundle. Until Dawn, the remake that's coming out this year. Tilu 1 and 2, the remake remaster. Now Horizon Zero Dawn, the remaster. Demon's Souls, the remake. Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut. And then for, new first-party releases, we've had Horizon Forbidden West, God of War Ragnarok, Returnal, which, technically at the time wasn't first-party, but we'll throw it in there. Spider-Man 2, Sackboy, GT7, Concord, and Astro. That's just not a great split, man. What are we looking at? We're looking at 6... remasters or remakes to 8 new releases. Like you're talking about almost a 50-50 split between your remaster output and your actual new game output. But I will give them credit for, acknowledging, 2024 is a weak ass year for our first party output. And then to supplement that, they've made a lot of really smart third party they've made a lot of really smart third-party exclusive deals. And I could realistically see a scenario, like if you look towards the end of the year and you're looking at the, Keighley Goaty Award Show, you could realistically see a scenario where it's Helldivers 2 nominated, Astrobot, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Black Myth Wukong, and I mean, I don't think it will be the case, but previews are red hot for Silent Hill 2, and it is a little bit weaker of a year, so maybe this could be a year where a remake sneak. I don't think it will be. I think it'll probably be like Metaphor, Refantasio, or like there are other Dragon Age, the Veilguard. There's big heavy hitters coming out, but it is one of those weird things where I could potentially see a scenario, and I don't think this is unrealistic at all, where we do see Black Myth Wukong, Astrobot, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Helldivers 2, 4 of the 6 GOTY nominated games being console exclusive to PlayStation. So it's the weird thing where it's like, I don't know, can I even call this a down year for Sony, for PlayStation? Like, it's kind of been an incredible year when you're just looking at overall exclusives, and then whenever you're looking at first party output, it's been hot dog shit outside of Astrobot. So yeah, that's the state of play at the old station of yep, I got nothing for you. But that's pretty much the video, guys. I just wanted to hit you with this quick little ramble rant. Not really a rant. I'm not overly bummed out about this. I'd be really bummed out if it was a full-blown remake. But yeah, just talking a little PlayStation with you all. Looks like we got another remaster on the horizon. Pun intended.